Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and a combination of a lot of different things crammed into one video. I hope you get some knowledge out of it. Hope it doesn't upset you. I hope everyone's doing good on this Thursday. The reason I'm putting out this video is I am taking a mini vacation with my family starting tomorrow. Alright, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk to you about. I announced it today on the radio. I did mention it maybe a month or so ago, but it kind of snuck up on me, and so it's kind of a late notice thing. And so I apologize for the late notice. But either way, it's going to be good for me because I get to recharge a bit, and we don't usually take too many vacations. And the interesting thing about this one is Paul RPM also has a prior commitment, so he will not be able to cover either. So we're going to have the show continue to be online. Everything will work as normal. The charts will be up and stuff. There just will not be any commentary. Hopefully everything stays working. I know RPM will be keeping an eye on the show and stuff and making sure nothing severely goes wrong, but everything should continue to just be as business as usual. The chat room will be open. The traders will be there. Everyone knows about it. So there'll be, the moderators out there will, just kind of keep things, everything's going to be good. So that's going to be from Friday to when I get back Wednesday. So I'll be back on the air on Thursday. All right. So, and I'm happy for it, but I'm also kind of a little nervous being away from the markets, but it's actually a good time because we're in the middle of summer, and this is really going to do, we all need to recharge at one point, and it's been so busy. Now we're getting into the second part of the thing. This was my announcement for those out there who are hearing impaired. There's my announcement. Kind of short notice, but we'll be off the mic tomorrow, Friday till Wednesday, and we'll no longer be on mini. So basically, I just said that, all that stuff. But just in case you need to read it. Everything will be working as usual, and I will be bringing my laptop with me and checking the markets in the evening and checking for support tickets or anything like that. So that's the big announcement. And then the other announcement is, well, there's no really other announcement. We're going to go over some things today. I was putting together, first thing I want to talk. Oh, you know what? We'll talk about the coupon here because recently, I've been very motivated in teaching and improving on and seeing the live results of our quad rotation setup. So when we see something so that works so well, I've been discussing this for the last 2 to 3 days, really with a passion for trading. I'll be putting out another video along with this one, which actually kind of covers an overnight session, an educational session, when we talked about a lot of the RockBot and how it's set up and how to install it, and the setups that we're looking for and how the quad rotation works. So that other video that's going out with this one, definitely watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Deep breath. But I am so excited for the future for trading, because what we have going on here, in the trades we're seeing, the results we're seeing, we can only improve on by improving ourselves, because we have the formula. Now, and again, I say it in every single video, the weak link is the trader themselves. All right. And meaning that, you could fall away from, not waiting for the setups. Anytime around that, you're trading around those setups and stuff, I would say you're gambling. You probably could, get trades, momentum trades, other pattern breakouts, maybe you're trading something, and it all usually coincides. Sometimes you'll get a divergence in the MACD and stuff. You get a regular divergence, it might be a quad rotation divergence. They're both going to work. But, just like a quad rotation is great, that's one half of the formula. When you combine it with one of these, a divergence coil, trend line, or a VWAP, it becomes twice as good, or it becomes what we call a super signal. So in the playbook trades, over the years and years and years, I'm always, innovating and showing you, kind of naming some of these trades. It could be a coil channel breakout. It could be a trend line, a lower stochastic channel line bounce. It could be X marks the spot, bull and bear, 2020 bull flag, 2020. They have these little things that are all based on stochastics. And there's about 10 of them. For the first time, I'm so comfortable and confident of putting the quad rotations in the top positions and even breaking them down into different trades. Maybe this is trade number 1, a quad rotation divergence. This is what I would consider the number 1 setup in my trade book, the quad rotation divergence. Number 2, and I should probably put numbers here instead of, let me see if I can do that fast. I wonder if I can do numbers here. No, they don't give you a number option, just a dot option. But anyway, number 1 would be quad rotation divergence. Number 2 would be a quad rotation coil. Number 3 would be a quad rotation trend line. Number 4, quad rotation VWAP. Now these are very close. The divergence and coil are almost identical, and lots of times you'll see a quad rotation divergence with a coil, or a coil ends with a divergence. These are super signals, and we talk about the prop trading, and we'll get to that in a second. The prop trading, what we're trying to do here is to take these setups into those prop trading accounts, because at this point, watch what I'm going to do for you right now.
Order submitted.
That's the Rockbot actually giving us a good signal right here. And I've been trading here a little tonight, but we started this and really concentrating on some of these playbook trades because I wanted to, open that prop account and put it to the test by only taking these setups and seeing how well it does. And that's the hard part. The hard part is always just kind of keeping yourself limited to a certain amount of trades, because you see the market running away from you, you get that urge to get in, you see some other things, you get the urge to get in. But unless it is a true pattern setup that we could identify, and I show you, anything can happen, because I know these, and we're going to go over a few of them today, that they work so well that they're approaching 90% success rate. Now, if you had 90% success rate when you go to the casino, would you start betting heavier? Yes, you would, probably, hopefully, right? I mean, maybe not. And that's the key. These are life-changing opportunities, and that's why I'm calling these are life-changing. With a prop trade account, you could qualify very easily with one of these setups. And I push that because that's a great way for people to enter trading. You're not wasting your own money. You're gaining confidence, and you kind of have a little skin in the game, because you did have to get you want to qualify, and you don't want to have to keep on doing it over and over again. So now, and I'm seeing it all the time in the industry now. All these prop traders are giving these great coupons out, and I've reached out to a couple of the firms, after doing the reviews and stuff. I never really got into that, but I see the benefits of it now, and now I see that the competition is so fierce between them that they've dropped their prices to a point where it's ridiculously low, where you're going to get a feed, you're going to get a platform, you're going to get an account, even though it's a SIM account, and you have a chance to prove yourself to make a certain amount of money before losing a certain amount of money, to get qualified to open up a master account where you could trade the same way and then split the profits with the firm. This is beautiful. This is an easy thing, for me to not selling, but to kind of say, hey, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you take that $14? No, I'm saying $14. That's how cheap it is. And get that account. It's much easier than paying NinjaTrader for their feed, and then paying NinjaTrader for the license and their platform and stuff. I think after you get a master account, you actually have to pay for something. I don't know if you have to get the license. I don't know how that really works. There might be some hidden fees, but overall, to get a funded account, I would be willing to, pay, my monthly fee to NinjaTrader. Right now, these codes give you monthly. If you could, let me see what it is here. I'm going to bring it up here. This is so I talked to these guys again. Bullnox. This is the one that I was using and I opened up, and I'm using on our prop account. Now, there's many other ones and you could use whatever one you want. But I contacted them, and I told them, I have Day Trading Radio, and we're doing the prop accounts, and I heard good things about your company on the payouts and stuff, and it was easier to get the payouts. And from that, so I said, let's see if we could work together. So they gave me some coupons, and then they expired fast, and I went back to them. I said, hey, could we get something a little bit more permanent, or if there's not a super sale, could I be exclusive to you and maybe get better codes and stuff? So they gave me some codes to use, and they said, all right, we're going to give you these great codes, premium member codes, and use this code number. Use that link, and I'll send that out. It'll be in the description of the video and stuff. Use that link, and then you could use for any of the $50,000 accounts. That's what I got. Or the $100,000 account or $250,000 account. Use these different codes for those accounts if you want to open that up. And it has to be option 1 accounts. Option 1 accounts. So if you go to, and this is great because, again, let me see if I could find this. Bullnox. All right. Accept. All right. So this is it. You go to you have to go through the link for the coupon to work that I put on the video. And then when you log in, it'll go right to this page, and then we could go down here to the different accounts here, which you got the things for option 1. So just for the 50,000 one, normally it's 125. Actually, I have it at 175, but normally on the website it says 125 a month. That's quite a, do you really want to do that a month trying to qualify? You get 7 contracts, your profit, you need to get 3,000, your drawdown up to 2,500, but that's a rolling drawdown. First 10,000, you get 100% of it after you open your master account. And so you click on that, and then you enter the coupon code. And I did this before. I don't know if I did it on the other computer, and I checked it out. And it worked. So let me see if I could do that again. Copy that. Let me see if I have it over here. Let me see. Hold on. This might. Sorry, it's taking long. Always do things live here. So you put that in there, and normally they say 175. It takes a huge discount off, 156, and it comes out to be $18.95. $18.95. I think the last time they did it was $14.95 actually, the last one. But like I said, this is more of a permanent one. I didn't check the other ones. I didn't check what the other contracts and what that represent. Well, I lost that anyway. Sign up. So you could sign up and stuff. So that's a good, either way. Anything under $20, having the opportunity to do that. You're getting all the feeds and stuff. You're getting all the feeds. You're getting the live feed, the rhythmic feed. You're getting the NinjaTrader platform. You're getting a NinjaTrader license, and then you trade, and you're actually able to trade real time. So I think it's a great way of actually starting, or even doing it and saying, hey, I could do this. I don't have to risk my own money. I can, I want to do this. I want to get the signals. I want to learn the system. I want to get the alerts, and I want to kick ass, And this is a path. So this opportunity is there. Take it if you want. I'll put the link and stuff in the room, and that's the same. I'm using the 50K account, but again, they give you different options and stuff. And when I get back from vacation, we're gonna focus on this a lot. I've already started to put out the alerts. And if you got the alert yesterday, let's actually go to let's see, we go to the trade alerts. I don't know if I'm going to have them on here or not. This is my trade alert box here. There we go. So this is today's trades too. We're going to go over those. We bought Snowflake. What a great trade. We sold JD. We're going to go over these in a second. But last night at 9:30 here, 9:31, I sent out a quad rotation coil super signal set up here on the ES at 45.12, 9:31. The setup is great. All right, that I'm gonna get out more and more. We're gonna. This is gonna be the most valuable alert on Day Trader Radio. You know, to get these alerts, this is how they're gonna come in. They're gonna come out as bottle. I'm gonna change the hard code the name on that, so it'll be called Prop Alert. Right now, I'm using the Bot Alert feed for that, but it'll be Prop Alert. Now that went out. We're going to go back and actually look at some of these trades, because what an amazing day it was for more signals and stuff. And I'm just, you know, I am kind of shifting a lot of things and doing a lot of, you know, thought on how to restructure Day Trading Radio, that we could really focus on the greatness of these signals and not be distracted or not miss them as much and be more serious. I mean, this is we do so much. The options in the chat room and the education and the tradeometer and the rock bot, but the you know, like I said, if we have a setup like this and we see the moves all the time like this is a ticket to ride, you know, and we have to focus on this. We have to protect it. You know, something else I'm thinking of is somehow how I'm going to probably end up closing off, you know, closing the outside feeds off more. And that's kind of a, you know, a risky thing, because, you know, this is a member supported site, and that's something I always have to deal with. Is, you know, there's a lot of costs that go into running the site, you know, and lots of times I'm covering it if we don't, you know, if the membership slows down and stuff. So it's always a battle with that. So I'm always looking for ways to you know, I don't know, make things easier going forward. If anybody has any suggestions, please send them in to me. But getting back to this, I want to focus more on these things. I want people to realize how important these are. I don't want to share them as much. I think they're super valuable, and I want to start, you know, I think I want, and the work I'm putting in for these and putting in for this is, I think, worth you know, raising the prices or doing something, or cutting the feed off. Not for the people who are already members, because you know that since 2007 you guys have been locked in, whatever you got locked in at. But going forward, so you know, going forward, and kind of, you know, really tightening up the ship, streamlining a little bit more, and just reorganization, and really focusing on this. So I'm, you know, I want to use this time, the next couple of days, to figure out if we're going to do that. Shut the outside off more and more. Maybe even go, you know, just put a banner up and say, you know, you know, great stuff is going behind the window there. But again, I have to somehow get the word out and show what we're doing. So we do offer some trials and stuff, but I don't even want to do that. These signals are so good. I feel like, you know, we put so much effort into, you know, finding these and waiting for them, and you know, and putting them out and teaching about it. And it's just, it's not, I don't want to give it away anymore. I really don't. The time is valuable on this. So those are the thoughts of mine. I'm always honest with you. I've been with you guys a long time. You've been with me a long time. So I always try to be, you know, tell you what's going through my head and stuff. But I'm very passionate about what we got going here now, and we're going to continue with it, and we're going to improve on it, and it's going to be a major focus. I figure we're going to majorly focus on two sections on the site. Someone mentioned today, why don't you stop the high probability setup, or don't focus on it? I said, no, you know, a lot of people really are our members because of the high probability setup alerts and stuff, and the swing trade alerts. They don't have time to be in the markets every day, so they wait for these setups, and that's important. And I'm very proud of that HPS because we are basically applying the same rules to our scalping than we do for our swing trades, but on a bigger time frame. So we're looking, what the rules of our trading, our business plan covers, everything from micro scalping all the way to long-term positions. The entries become really important for us longer term, and I think that's a really valuable, I think that's even almost more valuable portion of the site is the high probability setups. It takes a lot of research each week too. But when we see those, and this week these last couple weeks, we've been really nailing some of these trades and really banging the table on the best bets, and I try to make sure the best bets go out and everyone knows what the best bets are. And even last night I even said, watch Apple, watch JD, watch Teledoc, and there was a couple other ones were our best bets for the week, and they all popped today, and we took profits on a lot of them. And I'll go over that in a second. And kind of moved on. I still have a lot of other ones. Those are the quality names that we like. I also do the penny stocks in the morning, any type of momentum stocks. But when I look back at those, I find that is really gambling for me. It's trying to get in on momentum before the momentum shifts, and sometimes you're wrong, and we don't have that control as much. So even though I like it and it gives us something to do in the morning, I'm shying away from that a little bit more. I'm going to continue to scan for those and show them, and Mr. Land and Racer and everyone's going to point out them, and we're going to probably get in them when we can, and the gaps and goes and the stops, and we cover all that. That's not going to change, but at one point you got to realize what works and what is solid and concrete, and one is straw and thin ice. All right. Another deep breath. If you guys have any comments on anything I'm talking, feel free to email me at ironaction@yahoo.com. I would love to hear your opinions and your feedback, and maybe even, suggestions. So let's go start off before we start on the watch list, which is going to be kind of small to this week. I mean, we are extended in the markets. We did take profits on a lot of things. We are in the snowflake now, and I'll go over some other ones that we're getting into. But there is some stocks out there I still like. But we're going to have to go over the overall markets. But let's first talk about our quad rotation setups. All right, or let's go back, and what I like to do is look at the roadmap of the markets. And I could read, we could read this market really good. And remember, especially if you're out there new, while these things are happening, we're describing what's happening. I always consider myself play-by-play announcer of the markets. I always wanted that to be the description when people ask me, what do you do? And what do I do? Jesus, now we have to go into this? Like, this is the hardest thing to explain when I'm hanging out with family, friends, and stuff. And so, John, what do you do? I don't know, DayTraderRockStar. But this, let's just go back. I like to identify these best opportunities in the market, and yesterday, a couple of days ago, I put out some posts, and I talked about it today and yesterday, that sometimes we see these setups in the middle of the night, and that might be an option for me in the future, because I want to I want these setups. I want them just like you want them. I want them too. If there was a great setup at 3 o'clock, would you get up in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, to trade it? If it was a 90% success rate, not guaranteed, I would never say that, but a good 90% of the time these things are working out, would you set that alarm, get up at 3 o'clock with me for 2 hours, and then let me, then we'll go off the air at 11:30 to like 2 o'clock, and then come back at 2 o'clock, throw things up like that, kind of where we could focus our energy onto where we could really make money. You know what I'm saying? We focus our energy on that, and we don't get burnt out as much. Another thought, again, thoughts in my head go out to you. The pullback here, the quad rotation here, 310. I had to leave here. I apologize, I had to run, but when I came back, I noticed it, and I said, "Holy crap!" Of course, kind of a coil, a slight coil to this, and a quad rotation. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. So there we have that. And during the day here, right before I left around 12 o'clock, we identified this flag here. But on that flag, then we identified a bear flag here. I didn't mark it off at the time, so I won't mark it now. But we did take that short here at 12:30. And it did pull back a little and chopped around. But then, I didn't stay into anything too long today. It wasn't the day I was really looking for, I was kind of cautiously bearish, actually. But I didn't want to really short. I didn't trust the market either way after the second PPI. And that's fine. This was actually what we thought maybe being a choppy day, or at least a day of good patterns. I was right on that. Maybe we were right on that. If you thought the same thing, it was a good day for patterns. Here we have the quad rotation. We're going to go back in time here. We had a strong stochastic. Remember, I put that whenever we see that strong 60 and we get that rotation here, that's important. We actually took that flag out. We took that flag too in our trade, and we got out, and then it came back down. But here we have a beautiful wedge pattern and a quad rotation. Now that doesn't get any better, and a VWAP. So when you have a VWAP, a quad rotation, and a thing, I would consider that a super signal. And I did not send an alert out on this, and I knew I should have because that's why I put today. I added VWAP onto our super signal. Let me see, where was that here? You see down here now. First is the divergence coil. There's like 1 and 2, then trend line, then quad rotation VWAP. All right, quad rotation VWAP was right here. It was a quad rotation and the price right on the VWAP. Not to mention it was a perfect wedge pattern, and it's just a great setup right there. And then we had over here again, we had not a quad rotation, but we had a divergence here, and we took this trade here, and it was a divergence VWAP, which gave us a nice little pop and then a little chop. And at this point, we kind of grinded up. It wasn't any, rockstar moves here, but it was a slow grind up. And again, you can't say that failed in any way. It was just the market gave you what it got, what it could. Market. Then we started off here. We had 8:30. The PPI was chopping around. Who knows where it was going? And then we had a little dip at the open. The market took off, and real choppy. It had its gap up. But now we go into the overnight or the pre-market session, and we got in pretty early today, about 7:30. But I had to doing some work and stuff. At 7:20, right before I got in here, I came in. I said, "Oh my God, that was a pretty decent, what we call a relative divergence," and that little pullback, but such a high stochastic rotation on this. And if you see that and you happen to be there, you might as well get in it. It's at a good time frame too. It's 7 o'clock. That 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock pre-market time frame is interesting. Usually trends in that time frame. Coming off the European Open. So let's scroll back in here, and again, we're only looking for 1 of 3 setups. And here you had that fast rotation down, oversold, everything got oversold at the same time, and then boom, what a big move here. Now back here there was, and I pointed this out, I said, you know what, we are getting this oversold, everything kind of lining up the same way, and we did get that little signal there. And it did go up to about this, back up to the 50, before rolling over quickly. But that could have been timed with your stochastic 9.3, which we say that is, if you want to be more conservative and safety minded, then you take most of your profits on your first rotation of the 9.3 above the 80. If you get there and you're banging up against the moving average, that's a couple indicators. that are working against you right there. And anything, as those indicators line up, which the HPS methodology is also known as 3-indicator method, meaning we need 3 indicators lining up to be an HPS setup. Well, we've evolved now, and I'm like, what we're going to really focus on is the quad rotation divergence, that combo, and then anything added to that. You could be a quad rotation trend line VWAP or a quad rotation divergence VWAP. When we have those extra, those are the times you take your prop trades and you go all in. You bet the pot. You let it ride, especially if you could just recharge for $14 or $18. And these things are giving you these moves, and I'm going to give you these moves, and I'm super psyched to do this because I'm doing it also. And for those out there trading the real, you don't even trade your real trades on this. Open up an account with anything that trades futures. Get the discounted brokers, do the Ninja Trade, do Trade-Evade, I don't know, anything. Get yourself an account open. Trade the mini on this. You see the results, all right? Live or Memorex, it doesn't matter. We're going to be sending out the alerts. And these alerts are going to get more and more. I want to even automate them. I don't want to miss any of them. So I have a little more tweaking to do with the quad rotation and the indicator. I want to combine those two so it does give us a super signal. And I can have that automatically send out as a super signal to an email list and kind of disseminate it in an evening or after hours when I'm not in front of it. And that's something I could do. It's going to take, it's going to take probably a couple weeks, considering I'm going away this, next few days. And then it's just like Paul likes to say, trying to change the tire with the car running. Excuse me. The 2 o'clock time frame here. At 2 o'clock in the morning, there was a textbook divergence. It was actually a textbook divergence on all fronts. It was a 60-10 divergence. Look at this low, and look at this lower low. It was a quad. Well, it wasn't really a quad here, but it was a nice divergence here, from this low to this low. It was a lower low and a higher low, and it was very steep, and that was a nice move up. And then back over here, this was a quad rotation divergence right here. And now if this one didn't give us a 10-point move, it did eventually get up. Let's see here. Let's be realistic on these things. If I could get those crosshairs. How do I get my crosshair? Oh, there we go. We could say the low here was 16 to 18, so it's not a big move. 19, that's you probably wouldn't have got the best entry on there. You're probably missing, so you're kind of not getting a lot there. But again, you are getting a fast rotation, another fast rotation here, which kind of gives you your alarm to watch out for a pullback. But again, are we going to trade this setup aggressively after hours? Probably not. There's no volume. It's not like you're going to go, that aggressive in this. But there is trades to be had here. Even if you want to nickel and dime the market, I would only nickel and dime the market on the signal, this signal. All right. Go out here. This is at 9:30ish, and I gave you this alert. This is the one I gave you. I was in front of the market. I ran over it, knocking over everything. Dived onto the keyboard, typed in all wrong. Trade alert, trade alert in the box. 9:30, I sent out this, and I said, coiled divergence or a quad divergence, and you could see where that went. That was a, from 12 to 20, 8-point move, a good 5-point move. And 5 points on a quad rotation. If you had Let me do the math in my head before I say it. If you just had a contract on there, we'll do it for the contract first. So 8 points, 25. That would be $400 just with one easy contract if you got 8 points. Now, if you had the 7, like I said, you had a prop count, and you said, you know what, that's a good setup. I got the alert, maybe I'll get something. You got, whatever you got, just say you got 8 points on that. That would be, what was that, 2,800 or something, for $2,800. That would be pretty nice. Just, you almost qualify, or you'd almost buy yourself dinner in New York City. So the setups are there, the opportunities are there. Here we have at 1 o'clock the day before, identical pattern. We took this trade, and it was 110, and it was just a nice little flag. And I would consider this, because it wasn't a divergence, it was a flag. You take the flag. I would take these flags with the divergence. Again, I do like the divergence channel. Even though it's under the quad rotation divergence, comes first. But if we go back onto our cheat sheet here, divergence coil, then we can see here we have the quad rotation. Actually, the buy-sell divergence is above the quad rotation. A good buy-sell divergence is better than just a regular quad rotation. But you add a quad rotation with a divergence, there's nothing stopping that. Or a coil, there's nothing stopping that. So as you go down in your list, maybe you go down on your size. Channel breakout stochastic rotation, that is just a good standard HPS setup. And oversold stochastic lower channel line bounce, that's another one that, and there's other ones. We have again, when you have something like a divergence in a flag, that's the area where the flag breaks out. And you could see the flag. You have a 1, 2, 3 pattern. You came down to 4, and you have a divergence. Most likely, you're going to break higher. I mean, everything about this tells me we're going to break higher on this. You have the flag, but you have the divergence. Not many times do I see a divergence. Sometimes we'll see a slight breakout and then a rollover. All right, but the odds are getting that breakout are high, and then once you start to travel up with a trailing stop, you prevent any disasters. Yeah, there's kind of a little wedge pattern here too, and this kind of got a little choppy. This might have been one that this came out with some news. Oh, I remember this. This kind of dropped right off. There was something came out here. I don't know. It might have been some Fed talk or something. Something came out, and the market just dropped off hard, but then moved all the way back up. It was almost like a flush that they're going to try to shake the tree, only to grind back up to the scene of the crime. This was a beautiful rising wedge pattern yesterday. I believe it was yesterday in the morning. We followed that all the way up. We even called the top, but I wasn't into shorting this. But it was the perfect short of the day. Then we came down here, and it was a fast quad rotation on a lower trend line, and we got that bounce back up. Then we rolled over again, and then we started to put in something here. It was kind of sloppy. But that was the morning, the CPI, and that was news events are a little bit more crazy sometimes. Now this was nice. This was a good divergence, a higher price divergence, and look at the move. That was at 3 o'clock also, that European Open. So if you're out there in the European time zone and you want to trade these, you need to contact me. And the story goes on and on. We could go back all the way, and here's another one. You see that divergence here? You see it? You see this? This is a low here. This little sneaky little thing. That was at 9:30 again, the day before. That's crazy. That both happened at 9:30, like in 2 days in a row. And you're oversold here. Once the divergence starts, and you're right on that line, and you see that 14.3 also diverging, that's your go-to sign. But that was steep enough. That was oversold enough. That was a good one. And again, look at where it went. That was the bottom. Lots of times these are going to call the bottom. There's no mistaking this. There's no mistaking these setups, because something has to happen for them. All right, and when that happens, there's no like, oh, that's not that. I said, yeah, that is it. That is. It's a zebra. It has stripes, black and white stripes. It looks like a horse. It's a zebra. I'm not calling it anything else. This is a relative divergence, fast little move back, but a higher stochastic rotation. And it was a 5-minute rotation too. That was 2:30 in the morning. There's a little quad rotation here. That was our first little dip there. I even marked it off, it looks like. And that was it. A nice little move up, but then it kind of rolled over. Even in a downward market, the quad rotation divergence gives you something. Now, if you could recognize there's a downward trending market and you get a quad rotation, you know to take it off faster. Don't think that you're gonna, change the world. This is kind of a nice flag here. I was trying to measure this out. It was kind of a small coil, and we never got oversold altogether. We got very close to down here, and then we started heading back up. So it was kind of that one kind of got away. But this one was another classic quad rotation in a channel, and we see this all the time. It's amazing. And from there we had a flag, 22. We talked about the rise in 60-10 and the fast rotation there, and the close above the 20-period moving average. If it breaks down under the 20, and this is rotating back down, but this is still holding up, you buy the first candle that closes back above the 20-period moving average. The divergence here, very nice divergence here. It wasn't a quad rotation, but I would even consider, because that's even a shallow divergence there, I could see the divergence is there. This hasn't got, we can't get focused that it has to be the super perfect setup. It just has to give us enough momentum on a 5-minute that when we start to turn, we have a more aggressive move. This looked really good here. Look at the divergence. And a quad and a quad. And again, right around that 20 line. Starting to turn back up. You could even, wait for your candle to start turning back up, because most likely you're going to get some upside. So, you see why this is so great. And look at this again. Another quad rotation, divergence. Here's one. Coiled stochastic. This is the one that broke down. Out of all these, this one I was looking at and I said, you know what? This one I would consider had failed. But I also say that was a very big downtrend at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I don't know if, eventually, there is going to be a stronger trend in the market that's going to be more aggressive. And the first coil is going to break down. Now, this was just a coil. This wasn't a divergence. If you get a coil divergence, then you're going to get a nice move. This was just a coil, and the pressure was so hard. It's holding under the 20, under the VWAP, under the 20, under the 50. Trend was really intense here. And it probably had to do with something coming out after European, because it looks like it, right when the Europe markets opened up, it started going down. So, do we set something else up on our rules that we don't trade? And I made a rule here. I don't know if I have it on this PowerPoint or not, but I do have a rule. And I have to get it to you. Look at that. Oh, that is a beautiful one right there, 2210. Hey, it's 7:27 right now, and it is a Thursday. I keep on thinking I'm here late doing the HPS watch list. It's a Friday, but no, I am leaving tomorrow, so I won't be here. So that's why I'm trying to get this out right now. But let's go take a look at the markets. Zoom all the way here. Come on, where are you? And you can see that every section we pointed out, and I'm very if I say passionate, I'm very strict on not going back and filling in levels. I want to always go back and say, what was I looking at? Why, let's see, where we looked at that, we called it. Yes, we did. And then we look back at all these levels, and I could zoom out. And when you zoom out, it starts to really hit home. Right? It starts to hit home here. The areas that we are talking about are big, big moves up. You know what? If I disappear, someone come looking for me. This information probably, they don't want me. I want to shut down the site tonight. This is too good. So that's our goal here. Let's go to the. That's on that. That is what we're talking about on that. Let's go back to the PowerPoint here for a second. I'll post these in here. That's another great reason just to take these. Now I do have the RockBot is still available for people who want to get that. It's now available with the the lifetime membership and the yearly membership. So if you don't have it, you want that, because that does identify these setups. And I am working on it to, you're going to always get the updated version. So it doesn't matter. You're never going to, once you have it, you get all the updates. And we are going to, eventually have this thing so tuned in that will give us a quad rotation divergence alert. And you can put it next to your bed and wake up your loved one in the middle of the night when it yells out quad rotation divergence alert. Rufus might say it. I haven't set up the wave file yet. And you wake up and they're like, wow, that's a great one. I want to take that. And the next thing you know, between 3 o'clock and 3:30, you just made $500. So, and if you want to see how it works, try it with the prop trading first. Get used to trading, get used to how the systems work, and then open up your own account and do it yourself. Rinse and repeat, I always say. At the end of any my teachings and education, I said always, learn with a sim in the beginning and become successful at that. And then what you should do is start off with a $5,000 sim account. Apply the rules to do not stray from them. Double the account and then open up a new one, and don't put money in it, and do the same thing. That's a good learning curve right there. Double that account. Don't, and again, it has to be focused on these setups. We're not all of a sudden, I have, you know what? I want to get into the stock because I'm getting into Coinbase on the news. I'm going to use the same thing. Try to dedicate it to this. Try to dedicate your trading to the thing and not stray from the setups, because you want a good results. You want a good benchmark that you could learn from and you could send to me. And I always try to, if you had a trade and you didn't understand it, please send it in. All right. So that's our segment on that. I'll send out that information going forward. Now, just a couple other things. Coinbase had a nice move. Disney, which are our best bet of the week. And we took profits this morning, and this still looks really good. I was listening, driving back here to the office tonight, and I was listening how Bob Iger said, they were doing some new actor strike and stuff. Now the actors are going to strike, and the writers are going to strike, and what's going to happen? AI is going to make movies for us. They're already making movies for us. Imagine that. And the Academy Award goes to Machine Code 14-C. I don't know. I just probably just predicted the future right there. I just did. Mark my words. So anyway, Walt Disney, they said all the options are on the table for a big restructuring. This guy Bob Iger is coming down. He's rolling up the sleeves here. So the base is still there. We're out of the trades. Let me get some ice here. The other major important thing about Disney is it is a huge divergence. And that is key. We're going to look back on this. It'll be back over $100. I'll be getting back in this. I think you need to get in this again on any pullback. I don't know if it's even going to pull back. I think tomorrow it's going to move back up. I would be actually thinking about getting back in it if I was going to be around. And if I do get back in it, like on my phone or something, I just feel like I have time to do that, I will send out the alert. But I definitely love it here. Love it. Now, the actor strike, I don't know how that's going to affect everything. But usually, you know, I think tomorrow will be a key day on Disney to see which way it goes. If it starts heading up, I think you need to be in it. If it pulls back a little, you know, you could wait maybe till you see that, you know. But this is going higher in the very medium short term. Disney. Looking at some other ones here, just the JD. So we took off the. Let's go into our stocks today. We let's see here. Second, bear with me here. So we bought Snowflake today. Snowflake, SNOW, and you know, again, we talked about this for the last 2 weeks. We talked about this pattern here, how it breaks down and then reverses. We identify this as an identical pattern. We've got the breakdown. We bought here, and now you see the reversal. I expect the reversal to go to 200. I'm going to hold this. I have no fear in this one right now. The stochastics are very strong. I would expect to follow through tomorrow and probably get this thing over 190. I would definitely consider this one of the best bets for tomorrow, Friday.
Order submitted. Order failed.
Market giving us a little divergence here, and I'm here, so you might as well take a look at it. Let's take a look at this here. Ooh, no, it's not a quad yet. Slight maybe something. Not interested. Let's get back to work. Okay, we'll get back to our... Okay, I got so much to do today, so I want to get this. And I got to set up the site for tomorrow. So Snowflake definitely, you want one you want to be holding. I think Snowflake Disney combination is great. So we got that. We sold the JD today, JD, and I still love it. And again, but I mean, we had it that, you know, kind of $40 is our setup here. Sorry about that. $40 was kind of our target, short-term target. But again, I think this is the bottom here, and we're going to end up going back up to 50 along with the whole market. We are kind of a little extended here, but
order failed. Order canceled. Order canceled.
No problems there. We did take profits. We got good profits on it. I'll tell you what our entries and exit were if I can look back at this here. So we bought it at 34 and 35, 34.15 and 35.79. Sold at 39. So you could just you know, it was great. I was very happy with that. It was a $1,200 profit off of this level. And again, any type of pullback, I would be buying this. So, but a lot of these stocks would go right back on if there was any type of pullback. It really was. China's still going to come out with some more stimulus. They're going to announce they're going to blow these stocks a little higher. And I think these are just beginning. The BABA here, we like the BABA as it was breaking out of the channel. But I like the JD even better because of just, it is kind of the darker horse there. We also sold that. Then we also sold our Peloton this morning. And this was also on a nice little support line. And again, we're overbought here. It's okay. I feel okay. I knew I was going away. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take these off. We'll lock these in. We could always do something when we get back. And we're kind of pushing right up against a little resistance there. So I took that off too. We sold at 964. It closed at 958. We got in it at 8 and change down here, and that was just a nice trade too. So that's gone. And then pre-market we sold to Disney, 130 shares at 90.49. Let's see where it closed at. 90.40. So we did well on that. And again, I think you need to get back in Disney. Don't let it get away. Last couple of days, I've been adding to the AppV. I said possibly add to it today, only if it gets through 134. So watching this closer, I think the base, it might actually head a little lower. I mean, this is a drug company that has a little space below us to kind of go, but I'd be watching for any type of divergence. There's a lot of people that like this stock, and I think a divergence would be a key entry on this. And they're coming close to that low, so, and the stochastics are hanging here. So, the next few days, we'll see how it sets up. I watched that 134 area. I think you could buy it over 134. We did sell the CIEN this week. Did we do that just earlier? And I just out of that had a nice little ramp up. Not all was perfect though. I'm still in my mob, and mob is pulled back. I got in on the gap thinking that we could get some follow through on this, but it's been drifting ever since, and I'm kind of in this mob. $300 shares at 335. See, that's what I was talking about earlier, is not taking the perfect super signal. You have a choice in the world, Take the pure path, the good path, the easy path, or try to find your own path. They all come back to my path. I'm not saying that, but I'm telling you. Everyone wants to and has to try to find their own way and stuff, but I've been doing it a long time, and when I see something that good, I would recommend sticking with it and trying not to reinvent the wheel here. And the wheels, could be, there's wheels. This is a little bit better than the wheel. So yes, the mob, I am kind of underwater on that right now. And there's some other cheap ones that we're holding that I don't do much of it, but this is the high probability watch list. So we like to concentrate on the quality stocks on this watch list. So let's go over the quality stocks here that we have. Now there was a channel down. Let's see here. This is my this is interesting. The ELV here, Evolence Health. We're going to circle this because it's coming up as a divergence. It's right on the lower trend line. It's nothing I'm going to get into, but it is something. And then Conagra. Now Conagra is a different story altogether. Had a big reversal candle, had a lower trend line bounce, and it's showing up as a divergence, even though it isn't really that much of a. Well, it could be a little divergence between here and here, like here. And I think that's what's registering here. But it's let's take a look at that candle. That might be a bad candle, by the way. No, it's a good candle. It's all the way down here. That's a good reversal, Conagra. So we like these type of pullbacks off the lower trend line, reversal candle and the divergence, the oversold stochastic, everything looking pretty good there in Conagra. So like that going into next week. Definitely like it. Stocks like Conagra, packaged foods, we could look at General Mills and stuff like that. General Mills here was showing some weakness the last couple of days. It's starting to base out here and trying to move back up. I have no interest in this. Procter & Gamble, PG, just to kind of look at it. I have no interest in that. ISRG. Love the ISRG. I think it's an IA play too. I mean, I'm predicting it will become an AI play. An AI play here, because it's a robotic surgery. All they have to do is put AI in their thing. Everyone puts AI in their press release now, and it pops. Barbie, Mattel. I mean, did you see what's going on with Mattel?
Order submitted.
With Barbie.
Order filled. Order submitted.
I didn't see that coming.
Submitted.
And I should have. I have a little girl.
Order
She
filled.
was dying to go to Barbie.
Canceled.
I didn't even think about it.
Order canceled.
10 years ago when I was trading, that would be, my mind would be kind of digging deeper into, reading and exploring and searching for, the movie trades and stuff like that. But I kind of didn't even focus on Barbie. Didn't put 2 and 2 together on that. And now I look back at it, I said that would have been just an easy. We knew Barbie, and Barbie's going to probably be a big hit because there's a lot of hype on it. A lot of hype on Barbie these days, and it is. I mean, it's a nice run already. The other day we said Costco was that an opportunity in Costco? It dropped hard. And I said, is that an opportunity? You don't typically get a hard drop like that in Costco in a great stock. And in this environment, and this is telling you something. Yes, it was a great opportunity. It was a fantastic opportunity. It first pulled back to the 20-period moving average on a stock like Costco. It's heading right back up to the highs. That was just a flush. And you can see that across the board on a lot of these stocks. The Tractor Supply Company actually reversing and coming back down here. I just wanted to look at this because I haven't looked at it in a few days, and I don't have a position in it, but I always keep an eye on it for a setup, and when the setup comes, we'll be in it. There's no setup now in it.
Order submitted.
All right,
Order
we got
filled.
a divergence
Order
here.
submitted.
I'm curious to
Order
see. I'm not
submitted.
touching this right now.
Order submitted.
But one thing I am doing here is we're going to take a look at the earnings that are coming out tomorrow. So I'll give you a little heads up on if we do get some moves. Where do you buy these? JP Morgan. Let's take a look. Already running away. Nothing that we could do here. If it was a gap down, I would say buy it. It's simple as that. Any type of gap down on this, I would say buy. I'll put these on the board maybe for tomorrow. As you can see, it for whatever reason, it went 150. If it got down here, went down 6-7 points, came down to that trend line, that would be a definitely buy. It would bounce right off that 50-period moving average. Can't do anything about it now. We take a parallel trend line here and throw it up there, just to see when it looks like it's a nice parallel trend line. So we have an upside little target. If you see a gap up, there's a possible short at 154. Just some numbers you might want to take down. UNH. Now they're going to. This is coming back down. This was actually good. We've been trading this one pretty good, so I'm looking forward to this one again. I have a big trend line down here, and this is something I would be all over if we ever got down to it. If we ever got down to that trend line, to be all over. Right now we're oversold. One more gap down, we might see a reversal. And that's earnings are tomorrow. So, earnings are tomorrow. That's what we're looking at this, Johnny. So let's mark this area off. This area is 421, give or take a point. So 422 to 420, anywhere around that. But that 421, that's a big move down. If it got down there, it would be definitely a bounce area. It's a 20-point. It's like over a 20-point move down. And it's oversold. So I would, curious to see what happens. That's tomorrow morning, too. Citigroup coming out with earnings. And the banks here, interesting. They're coiled up. They're in a big wedge pattern. A breakdown wedge would be a buy. A breakout wedge feels like it's coming with the momentum on this side. It's been basing down here for so long. Which way does it go? You have a level underneath us, a trend line. You have a breakout above us at $50. It probably is going to break higher, but I have no nothing on that one. Wells Fargo, WFC. I went there today. All right, sorry about the phone calls and distractions there, but we continue on the search for the next HPS site. Excuse me. The divergence in McDonald's recently was just killer. I mean, that is a killer divergence right there. And any type of divergence in a quality stock like that is our go-to trade. So a lot of these setups here, because of the rally we recently had, are definitely
Order filled.
Definitely not
Order
setting
submitted.
up. We
Order
actually,
submitted.
hold on a second
Order
here. I
submitted.
think we might have a quad rotation here. Let me go back out here for a second, fast. We might actually have a quad rotation. Oh yeah, we do. We have kind of a quad rotation right here. With a little reversal candle. Not bad. I'm going to take this trade right there, right there. There we go. 2020. I'm just going to put, I'm looking to see, I want to put these alerts out, but there has to be a divergence for the alert to really be a proper alert. Again, the coil stochastics, the quad rotation here is just one part of the super signal. But it is still a great signal. It still does give us some great opportunities. As you can see right back here, we had one. Everything waited finally for this to kind of
quad
get down.
Rotation setup.
And there we have the quad rotation and the divergence. And you heard it there, Rufus, telling us what it is right there. So I should send out a little alert there right now. Let me just take a pause here and send this alert out here. Well, as I took another call here, I look back and I see that the market here just dropped out on some volume here. So it looks like there might have been some. So I don't know if there was some overnight news here that some of the Asian markets start to open up around now. So we might have actually had, you can see the volume came in and this little support line just broke down through. But we're going to continue with the HPS setup. And looks like I got distracted enough not to send out the alerts, which is just as well here. But I'm not doing anything right now. I want to get back to finishing this up. I just heard the
quad rotation setup.
Quad rotation setup
Order
there.
submitted. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Well, I'll continue on with the scans here, and I'm scanning my bigger watch list here, giving a good one through. Gilead here, some of the biotechs are putting in divergences, and that's kind of one of these sectors that seems to be setting up a bit here, the biotech sector. So there's something to watch over the next few days. Again, oh no, not that one. Verizon here is selling off here on a 5 to 7 day pullback, getting oversold, but not seeing anything really standing out. A lot of these stocks, the Schlumberger, nice pop, industrial stocks are kind of the buzz now. Procter & Gamble holding that trend line. Occidental here pushing higher. Corning here continues to push higher. Merck here kind of pulling back. Drugs not doing that well. 3M. A lot of talk about 3M making a big turnaround here. So I do I like the 3M. I do like the 3M here. It's now on my focus list as a big, I do like this here. So we're going to watch that going into next week too. A lot of these other stocks here looking pretty good. Tractor Supply Company not doing that well. Target here, a slight little pullback, which is kind of interesting, but it's not moving too fast. It's going sideways on the move back up, and that's not usually good. So again, Sam Adams. I saw a couple members take
quad
Sam
rotation
Adams
setup.
today. And we got another quad rotation here. So we are starting to see that. Now, if we get a divergence, then it would be worth sending this out. But do we have a divergence here? No. The Sam Adams here is right on a huge base. Huge base. We're going to zoom. We're going to put that horizontal line in here. And you can see we kind of broke down, and there's a line right underneath us here that goes out to this low back here to July lows. That's at 290. This might be a stock you might want to see some capitulation in, meaning the final, because it's been so weak for so long. A good sign of a reversal is sometimes a final, as my friend would say, upchuck of investors as they dump the rest of the shares and bail on this, and it spikes down on volume, and that's usually the bottom. Or if we get a downgrade and Sam Adams coming at you soon, that would be another reason to buy. Believe it or not, a downgrade that breaks us down and reverses on that. All the bad news being factored in. PepsiCo, Apple here. Still love Apple to 200, but Google, nice pop today in Google. AbbVie, we were focused on it above 140. We talked about that, and that's it. Budweiser, Caterpillar, industrials are leading pretty good. JP Morgan and those stocks are going to be out tomorrow. Costco, Dollar General. Interesting chart here on Dollar General here. A little trend line here. We broke down through. We got back of it. We tagged it. Another test of that Dollar General would be a buy signal, which would be right down here off of this trend line. And that would be considered around 158. So that would be something to watch too. That would actually be pretty good. But we're going to leave it at that, because I have some other things I have to get ready for to set up the show for tomorrow. We got a Divergence now live on the Rockbot, and it's moving back up here now. So let's see if we can get that follow through. Again, if you have any questions or comments or anything, ironaction@yahoo.com. I'll put some of the descriptive stuff we talked about in the post going out with the codes and stuff if you need that. And I'll see everyone on Thursday morning, but I will try to check in with you. If I see anything, I definitely have email contact, and I will send out alerts and stuff as I see them. But it will probably be pretty quiet for the beginning of next week and tomorrow. But everything else is open. Have a great evening,
Order
everyone.
submitted.
Have a great week,
Order
everyone.
filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
See you in the markets when we get back.